October 21st, 2017 was our first gamble. We picked up this rotten 1988 Toyota Landcruiser for $250. No keys, we didn't even know if the thing ran, and we dragged it onto a trailer with come-alongs. A week or so later we managed to hotwire it and she roared to life. We disabled the steering lock and took it for a tiny cruise. The Landcruiser needed a ton of work. Because it sat for at least a year, the mice had decided to take over the interior, and first out was the headliner. We noticed the frame was quite rotten and needed repair. The rear leafs were broken, she leaked pretty bad, and didn't break at all. Like at all. The U-joints were long gone, probably like 50,000 kilometers ago. The sway bar end links and all bushings were shot, the shocks were bad, the front wheel bearings and axle seals needed replacing. We also resealed the engine down to the head gasket, replaced the water pump, we installed an RFID push-button start to fix the key problem, and it badly needed new tires. Oh, and the very obvious bodywork that we needed to address so we didn't get pulled off the road. We literally were working on this thing until the day before we left for the gambler. "6 p.m. Thursday, July 12, 2018, we leave for the gambler after work. Drove it till about 1 a.m. and we stopped at Ritzville and stayed in the Empire Motel. Alright, we got a few miles down today. We are in Ritzville, Washington, yes. Which, I don't know, how far have we traveled? Yeah, 400 some odd kilometers. We're in a hotel, we're going to crash for the night, and then get up early tomorrow and continue our journey. So, we'll check in with you then. Alright, so we never actually got around to fixing the locks in Landy. We kind of just dummy locked the tailgate while locking the rest of the doors. So to get in, or to unlock, here goes. Oh, perfect. 9 o'clock the next day, we're on the road again. Not good?
No.
What's it coming from?
We have a few leaks.
Do we?
We have an axle seal leak. Look at the tire.
That we do. We found the place. We arrive at Conversion Brewing in Lebanon, Oregon to receive the gambler coordinates at around 4 p.m. Here we did all our food and supply shopping and hit the road to camp.
We made it!
We made it! No, I think I was the same with the sky. Sorry. Check it out.
Whoa! Is that a lifted X5? It totally is too.
So, our Landcruiser's cool, but Saturday, July 14th, we're gambling, baby. Well, sort of. To be honest, we would start heading to a point, then find a really fun trail and hit that instead. And we would keep taking trails that looked fun, and we would never actually find ourselves to any of the coordinates. So we were caught on their shackle, pulling off the little trailer hitch here.
Back up.
Good job, Aaron. Oh no, we're no longer stuck.
And your lights,
Our
lights are broken too.
torpedo lights in it. They're nice kids. We also spent half a day trying to find somewhere to swim. We were very dirty and dusty from the driving, and really hot because our Landcruiser doesn't have AC. And we ended up finding a boat launch with some pretty gross water, but hey, it did the trick. We ended the day finding a fire watch tower. So we decided to go venture up to Sugar Pine Mountain. There's a tower here. The people working at the tower were totally awesome. Told us stories and pointed out local mountains. Plus it turns out they're at the gambler camp the day before. It's a way better view than we expected. On the way back to camp, we picked up a couple of gamblers that were broke down, and I've already called a tow truck to take the rig to the scrappers. So if you wonder what they give you or what you get for food at the Gambler here, this is $10. It's called the Gambler, and it is a smoky with beans and pulled pork in there. That's delicious. I think every meal here consists of pulled pork. For breakfast, we had a breakfast sandwich with eggs, pulled pork, and mushroom gravy. It was so good. Sunday, July 15th. We're heading home. The Gambler 500 was a great experience, and there's many things that we plan on doing differently next year, such as leaving a day earlier and staying close to where we actually have to collect the coordinates so that we can get up early, get the coordinates, and take off and keep gambling that day while we head to camp. Also, a less practical vehicle would be nice. I'm thinking like a two-wheel drive pickup or something like that. Don't get me wrong, the Landcruiser was quite the gamble, trying to drive the thousands of kilometers that we had to that weekend to get there, do the Gambler, and drive back. But something that's more fuel efficient and a little bit more difficult on the trails would be awesome. Well, that's our Gambler 500 story. Can't wait to see you next year. ABG.